my way through the emotions. Still playing with the ones I've got. I'd like to make love before it's all over. Instead of the wars that we've long forgot. You seem to think that when this is all over, we'll walk away with the things we had. But the burden of time is still growing older. And have you heard yet from our dad? I'd like to think that when this is all over, we'll have the time to practice what we pray. I'd like to think that we'll share this all over, so people know this song outside of SA. I'd like to take things a little slower, but then would you take the time to know me at all? Would you pretend that you didn't know her? And can we withstand another fall? Thanks for tuning back in, everybody. This song is called Slower. I also have an alternate title to it called Another Fall. And it talks directly to wellness and conservation. If we were to walk down a trail and see litter scattered about all over the trail, and we knew that that was our Mother Nature, would you pretend that you didn't know her? And can we withstand another fall with all of these catastrophic events that are occurring? I continue to wonder if we can withstand another fall, going through another chilling season of scarcity. Some of the scarcity that we are experiencing right now has to do with the very fabric of the conversations that we have been able to have with one another. And since that fabric has been weakened, in a lot of cases, our conversations have been weakened. I've tried my best to strengthen the conversations with the participants who would have conversations with me. And I've found that the expertise area that I must be an expert in must have very few people in it, because whenever I talk at these depths, it becomes sort of off-putting to anyone who doesn't want to communicate at those levels of awareness. So that's why it's been very challenging to see this channel grow in terms of viewership and subscribership. And because of that, I feel like I've struggled slightly, mostly because I thought this would be a way to monetize what it is that I wanted to sing a new tune about. I don't consider myself a singer, and at the same time, a lot of people would consider the lead singer of a rock band to not really be a singer. I've heard many people characterize the lead singer of my favorite rock band as sounding a lot like one of the Muppets from Sesame Street in terms of how grovelly or gravelly their voice is. And all of that is basically, we're adding mixing a lot of topics here to have one conversation, which is that some people among us have a great platform, and these great platforms are amazing. But to use that platform in a way that's that's not offensive to an era where we are currently no longer offended at some things that we used to be offended by, and now we're more offended at some things that we used to not be offended by. To say anything in an era like this is quite challenging to begin with. And so that's where the concept of this song came from, where I'd like to take things a little slower. But then would you take the time to know me at all? And then as we walk through the trails and see the litter all over our mother, would you pretend that you didn't know her? And can we withstand another fall? It's a very powerful song to me, and so to sing it has to be done powerfully. And even to do it like that is, like I said, could be off-putting to some people. I might sound like the Cookie Monster or a wild animal in distress. There's no telling what I sound like, but it sure would help to have some kind of conversation about it. If you're able to let me know what you think about how this presentation went in the comments area, I would appreciate it. If you prefer to comment in private, you can always find a link to one of the many websites that I happen to maintain, and somewhere in there will be a contact opportunity. But more than not, what I hope is that if you are having a dreary day, if you're having a bad time, I hope I didn't contribute to that bad feeling. I hope that you're hearing that I would totally listen to your story as well. It's just we haven't been communicating very well on these channels, right? Am I right? I mean, that's why you're watching this, right? So to communicate with our own families and the people with whom we come into contact with is pretty much apparently our objective. And I say that with a belief. And that belief I can carry and say, hey, if you're watching this because it was a holiday presentation and you were expecting to not hear about beliefs and holiday related things because of the irony of all of the whatever, let's call it plagiarism, all of the plagiarism of certain other entities that have been used, like colors and shapes and ornate trees and stuff like that. Whatever the ritual was that was centered around trying to wish energy upon one another, we need to consider that the energy that we're wishing upon one another sometimes can be a little bit off-putting as well. So if I gave you any kind of a negative feel, remember, this is because probably we're bristling with a conversation internally about how to have a conversation with somebody. If you don't know me, then you shouldn't really be angry at me because you don't know what my perspective is. If you know me, or if you think you know me, and you're becoming incensed at the things that I'm saying, then maybe this message is so personally specific just for you that maybe only one person will ever view and or comment on this video. That's just the way the system works. So thanks again for tuning in. I hope you tune in for the next songs. This is, again, it's a holiday presentation, and it's also capping off the final presentation in this manner that I'm going to be putting together for this year and for the foreseeable future. So thanks again for tuning in.